I'm Moni Vargas, the Creative and Program Director at Breakthrough. Our Stories in Vivid Color is an unprecedented initiative to amplify the voices and lived experiences of girls and gender nonconforming youth of color ages 14 to 24 from across the U.S., Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. BIPOC youth activists, artists, and organizers imagine a future that is liberated, joyful, and completely transformational. They reveal how they navigate their lives through activism and creative practices that drive social change via a documentary film, a creative incubator, and a user-generated story archive. We are committed to broad representation in front and behind the camera by supporting and encouraging our storytellers to continue documenting their lives well beyond this project.
I am an illustrator. A lot of what I do includes my background as a Filipino American and telling stories through charismatic women characters, really representing where I come from and also the women in my family that I love and admire. My name is Italia Vina Della Paz. As a kid, I actually hated that name. I always wondered why I couldn't meet another Italia. I always got really embarrassed when people couldn't pronounce it. People mispronounced it on purpose to be funny. And I found myself giving people passes. I had an epiphany at the age of 12. I found out that my name comes from both sides of the family. Eulalio, Vicente, Catalina, and Natividad. And all those names together created Italia Vina Della Paz. I kind of felt like I was doing a disservice to my grandparents. Yes, it's different, but it's also very special. These really hardworking, ambitious people are part of my bloodline, and they're also part of my name. I want to carry that with the utmost respect for them and for myself, and carry that essence along my life. Growing up, my parents weren't shy of introducing me to Filipino culture. They constantly spoke to me in Tagalog, the Filipino language, and I always felt like there was more to learn and explore. Being Filipino American, I can definitely feel the difference in culture. When I went back to the Philippines, it wasn't to go to these tourist spaces. I really just wanted to sit down with my grandmother and communicate with her in Tagalog, really understanding her life. It reminds me again that these people are a part of me. I am an illustrator. The main supporters were my grandmother since I was a kid, and that's what really led me to making drawing a passion and a career. I like to dabble with a bunch of materials and stay really experimental. I love to paint with gouache. I like to do design. I like to work with photography. I'll do frame-by-frame animation. I'm really curious. I'm a very sentimental person. I'm always trying to explore childhood memories. These nostalgic feelings that I love, including my Filipino-American background, is what really makes up the majority of my work and who I am. Lola's kitchen means grandmother's kitchen. You just get to see the warmth of the Philippines and the grandmother's love. Tagay means cheers, and I was inspired by The Dance by Henry Matisse. Growing up, I thought that his paintings were always playful, and I appreciated where lines were always imperfect. Secret admirer. Every Filipino movie I saw was the girl chasing the guy, and I wanted to kind of create my own scene. This time, it would be a guy actually crushing on a girl. Around the canto means around the corner. City vibes at night is a totally different world in the Philippines. I'm working on an autobiographical piece about my name. There's a little version of me who doesn't seem so happy about having Italia Vina as my name, and the current version of me kind of cheering her on. And then I have little glimpses of my grandparents in the background, and just all of that coming together to be who I am. There are more people and more communities binding together and allowing people to share what they do, share what their cultures, and I think that's important. It's important to learn more about women of color artists. I still think there's a lack of women of color anywhere in the media. I do wish that in the future, if there's someone who's like me, they feel like it's not so weird to be different, or if it is different, then it's special.
I've always been disabled, and that has affected everything I've done. Most things are not built for disabled people, so I find myself having to change things everywhere I go. Sports, acting, modeling, being a student. I've always had to be an advocate for accessibility. I am a former Junior Paralympic track athlete, an actress, a model, I'm Latina, a student, and I'm an accessibility advocate. My mom has always been my #1 fan. She has gone above and beyond. She's made my home very accessible for me. She built me an entire counter so that I could cook and bake while still being safe. Even now, she still thinks of new ways to make things accessible for me. She has always been an advocate, taking care of me and making sure that I had the best chance at being successful in life, and taught me how to be an advocate for myself. She was the one who instilled that in me, that it's important to fight for rights and to make things fair. I had been competing in the Junior Paralympics in track for 10 years. I decided to try out for my high school track team as a way to train for the Junior Paralympics. I was told I wasn't allowed to try out because I was a health risk to the other runners. Along with my coaches and my mom, we fought it and said, no, this is illegal, you can't do this. We ended up changing the laws in the school district to allow for disabled students to be on their high school track teams. That paved the way for a lot of other students. I've just always had to carry that advocacy everywhere I've gone. Now I'm living in New York, so I have realized how inaccessible it is on the East Coast, specifically in New York City. A lot of places I go have stairs, and some don't have ramps. The sidewalks aren't always accessible. Transportation surely isn't accessible. I'm seeing how I can make a difference and seeing how I can incorporate disability at my school and just in the city in general. We have to fight this stigma of us being lazy, or disabled people can't do a lot. I have friends who are models and actors and motivational speakers, all different types. We have to work so much harder in order to get recognized for our talent. But able-bodied people don't always know all of those issues. I'm actually getting the opportunity to use acting to spread that message and to promote visibility of disabled people in the media. I've done sports, I've done acting, I've done modeling, and being a student. Constantly everywhere I go, I have to change things because this world isn't really built for disabled people. Our stories need to be heard, and representation matters within the media. We need to hear diverse stories and diverse voices so that we know what everyone is going through and can help others to live their greatest lives.